just to be saved. He traveled the country playing on the church stage. They passed the hat, that was all he was paid. He was a dying breed long before his day. Oh. Lights came up and he brought him to tears. They run the aisle, talking tongues and they cheat. They asked him how he did it, his response was the same. There was a little voice inside that kept on calling his name. They said, give him 3 codes and the Holy Ghost. They started moving and shaking on the floor. Don't let up when they start to sweat. They'll be dancing all night long when revival hits. Now watch them dance.
Hello, music lovers, and welcome to Tune Talk. We're really super excited to have Tyler with Goodbye June with us today. They are going to be playing at the Vault in Saginaw at 110 Florence Street on August 28th, and doors open at 7. Show starts at 8, and we are so excited to have him here today. Hello. We're really super excited to have you guys. Stephen and I both listened to some of your new stuff that you guys just came out with.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that that's what this tour is all this new stuff, this new album.
Yeah, I think, not to give it away, but I think we're playing almost a whole new record. I think we're playing 9 out of 11 songs.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we heard a few of those new ones last night and some of the older ones. But what would you describe your sound as?
Well, we're definitely classic rock inspired in a couple ways. Like, we like big guitars, and we like we always, so far we've shied away from glossy, perfect, overproduced sounding records to go more in like a raw live record
Right on.
type of way, because that's like all of our heroes did that, and so thus far that's been kind of Goodbye June's ethos in recording style. So you do that recording style, and then you throw on some classic rock inspired riffs, some blues riffs, some soul. I mean, we're all like, Lana was born in Atlanta, like we're all have a little country in us, and we all grew up playing in church, so there's like this like gospel soul thing too. So I think it's a fusion of all of those things, and we just do the best to make it our own.
Yeah, that's one of the things the first thing that I noticed was, you kind of got this like rockabilly with the sound, it has that AC/DC sound too. It's like rock and country, but it's soulful and
Like Southern rock, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I kind of got like she said, AC/DC, like and one of like newer groups. Well, I wouldn't say they're newer. They've been out for a while, but like Blackstone Cherry kind of sound.
yes.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
I like them guys. And yeah, I mean, I really dig your guys' sound. It's really good.
Well, thank you very much. We work hard at, I don't know, we work hard at being ourselves.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and not, we don't
Oh,
want
for
to
sure.
compare you to other bands. It's just like, we, as far as like us being new listeners and stuff like that, just kind of, and of course, every fan is always going to try to, say, oh, this is what I think they sound like. And it's all, it's artistry. It's open interpretation. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I do the same thing. We all do. We're humans.
Mhm.
We're like, we digest something new, and we're like, oh, that kind of sounds like this thing that I like.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why I like it, So
Right.
yeah, man, we're cool. We're just happy to be on the road. We're excited. We're gonna come up and see you guys. Now, do you guys live, where are you guys
We're in
based at?
Saginaw, right here where the vault is.
Yeah, it's 10
Great.
minutes away.
Okay.
Like we kind of jumped on with them because she works there, and that's we've been working alongside with them with a lot of the bands that come through there and interviewing and trying to basically let everybody get to know the groups that are coming through there, not just on the music level, but on a personal level as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate the community you're building, and we can't wait to come up to Saginaw.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So August 28th is the date you guys are going to be there. I know I'll be there a little bit early, probably while you guys are doing sound check and Drew Cagle is opening up for you guys. Have you heard him? Because he's really good too. I mean, I think the pair is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
we didn't know him before this show, but when he was added to support the show, we listened to him, and yeah, he sounds great.
Yeah. So I think the show is going to be great. We're really super excited. Doors are going to open up at 7. Show starts about 8. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So just a real quick, who is do you guys collaborate together when you guys are writing your music? Or is it like one, if you have like who's like the somebody might be stronger as far as like lyrics go, or like what's your process?
Dynamic, like,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So we it's changed, right? So when we put out our first record in 2017, Magic Valley, I don't think any of us were confident enough to write a complete song by ourselves, right? So we leaned on each other, and that you had to have a lot more collaboration, because it's like, dude, I don't, I got a riff, what do you got, and you try to Frankenstein things together, and you give, a nice palette for Landon to sing on, and then we start writing lyrics, and Landon writes a lot of lyrics, and then he might run into some blocks, and me and Brandon can participate, right? That was the early days. And then now, like this record, I think each of us probably individually wrote 2 whole songs by ourselves each. And then there was collaboration on probably 4 or 5 tunes. So it's like, it's, it's the same thing, but it's, when you're sitting on your porch and a song comes to you, that's happening a lot more now for each of us individually,
Right on.
and which is a great thing. But you bring it to the guys, you bring it to my 2 cousins, and then it goes through the filter. It goes through. They're like, oh, well, that's cool. Maybe we did this change instead of that change. We could, make it. We're all just trying to serve Goodbye June, if that makes sense. Like Metallica said it best, is they created their master. Like,
Yeah.
James Hetfield's like, I have to serve my masters, Metallica, and it's kind of, we always liked that interview. And we're like, you know what? He's right. You have to put your ego, kind of step it aside, and like, um, serve your write songs for Goodbye June. They have to be Goodbye June songs now. So we write a lot individually now. I know I have a couple tunes on the new one that I was leading, and then Brandon and Landon both have a couple that they led too. And then we had 3 or 4 that we co-wrote together. And then we have 2 longtime buddies on this record that did 2 co-writes with us. That they were studio musicians with us. They've cut a couple of our records, so we went over to one of our buddies' houses and basically wrote as a complete band. Like, we wrote The Hard Way and we wrote My Place. I don't know
Awesome.
if you with as a whole band, and then everything else is just kind of a mixture of stuff. So
How how did you guys come up with the name?
I was just gonna ask that. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
The name
well,
of
it's a sad story. We um all grew up playing in church, and we were all in bands and different things, but never together. We always wanted to be in a band together. And my brother passed away in June 2005. And so Landon and Brandon both were very close with my brother. We're all cousins. So they came up to stay with my family that summer. Like, Brandon even got a job and like lived with us for like, I think, a couple months. And it was just because we were all grieving. It was one of the first, in my opinion, first big tragedies our family unit had experienced, where he was 25 in the military, and died in a tragic car accident when he was home on leave, like right before he went to Afghanistan. So it was a very jarring, very shocking, situation. And so we all played music, and so we just started playing music together on the porch to pass the time and grieve. And so we started writing songs. It's like, hey, maybe, we should be in a band. And we didn't think that quite right then, but that was the beginning of this band. So we named the band Goodbye June, as just saying goodbye to my brother, but it kind of memorialized the time, and it was the beginning of this band. Was his passing started this band unknowingly.
That is probably one of the most beautiful stories, honestly. How you just form something beautiful out of tragedy.
Yeah, music is very powerful, and music can express joy, and music can express sadness and anger and grieving. It can express it all. And I think that was a big part of that time in our life, summer of 2005, was finding joy, trying to find joy again, and also grieving through music, and just being together, just in the basement of my parents' house. And so, yeah, it was a really special time. We didn't know it at the time that, some of those songs and iterations of those ideas and songs would later become part of our first record. So it was just,
I mean, I
just
love it.
life. It's just life. Yeah.
There's like a whole, um, it's like a whole feeling, you just, sometimes you just never know. You could be sitting there with your family or your friends or whatever, and you just start doing something and have no idea that it's actually going to go somewhere. And then it does. And it comes out something like this. I think I love your story.
Yes.
I'm glad you told us.
Especially being a family outfit, we've had very, very few of those that we came across, and it always seems like the music's so much tighter and closer, and especially in your guys' situation.
Yeah.
Well, you spend a lot of time together as a family band, and we spent a lot of time together before, and it was like, there's a comfort, and there's like knowing where, like, I know why they're making the musical decisions they're making. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Right.
I know where they come from. I know why they're doing that beat. I know why they're doing it. I know what they think is cool, and they know the same about me. And there's a comfort there, and there's a musical language that helps us communicate very quickly and directly and easily, that maybe some bands it takes a little while to get comfortable like that. I don't know. I've never been in another band, so I don't know. But and there's also hey man, that's not working for me, and it's not going to cause, it hurts every time you've been slaving over a riff and you show it to your cousin, and they're like, meh, and you're like, oh, you suck, dude, and it's so it's like, dude, this is great. And he's like, nah, it's not working for me, man. It's like, so you have those kind of moments, but there's always that family element where both of us are a little, it's like we can be super direct, but we're not going to be hateful or hurtful or anything. So it's
Just save that riff for another song.
Well, and that's usually what happens. We've written we've got over 100 demos of songs that we've written that haven't made it, onto a record. And it's just like stuff comes back around, and sometimes it's like, man, I just want to pick an old song out and revamp it because I want to feel younger, like, oh, that's how we used to write,
Right.
back when we were 22. And it's like, so, you have a little bit from the old pile, and then you're always trying to create new and forge a new direction. I mean, you don't want to be stagnant. You don't want to do the same thing twice. And I think in our records, you can see a constant pushing for us. Magic Valley had a certain song style and tone, and Community Inn, and then See Where the Night Goes, and now Deep in the Trouble. And they're all very, very different. And a lot of our favorite bands did that. Aerosmith was like that. Kings of Leon was like that. Even Black Keys, Jack White, like, all of these, there were different artistic expressions every time you had a release. So we, follow that same ethos.
Absolutely.
Well, we're again really super excited to meet you guys at the Vault and get the reaction from the crowd. We're there's a buzz going on about it. I know Chuck and Bill but push some stuff out, so I can't wait.
It's gonna be a good time.
I think we're gonna have
Yeah.
a really good time, and
It's
forward
going to be really high energy. It's like, to see a show is we have a lot of fun and pretty wild. So it's we hope the crowd feels the energy too, and we kind of feed off you guys. So as much as you give us, we'll do our best to give right back to you. And it's so fun when you connect with a crowd and you're ping ponging or serving it back and forth to each other, and that's what's fun about live music, I think.
absolutely. Well, we're gonna let you get back so you can get on the road and get going. But thank you again, and music lovers, make sure you guys show up to the Vault on August 28th Again, doors open up at 7, show starts at 8. You can get your tickets in advance at eventbrite.com or Maple Gardens, Grand Central, and the Junction. So get those tickets in
Yeah.
advance, and then show up and have yourself some drinks, listen to Drew Cagle, and make sure you check out Goodbye June on all streaming platforms. I think I saw you on. So find them, connect to the link below, like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in, and always remember,
Keep the music playing.